Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Dave, and this is Stoke City 101. In today's video, we're going to be previewing the match away at Southampton, as well as looking at the players I think could be really influential in the game. So, let's get into the video. So, Southampton away, it's always a really tricky game, I think, personally. We've always seemed to go there and never really get anything out of the game. It's always we normally go there and tend to lose a lot. Or it's normally we try and scrape a draw. But I think this game could be quite different for us this week. I think, personally, after the game last week against Chelsea, that fantastic 1-0 win. Now, I went into that game thinking we were going to get nothing. I thought Chelsea were going to bounce back, especially with not having Mourinho in the stadium to do anything. I thought they were going to bounce back and beat us maybe quite heavily, or maybe scrape a 1-0 away win for them. But for us to beat them 1-0, and it was a fantastic goal from Arnautovic as well, it has to be said. But for us to beat them is a fantastic turning point for us in our season, I personally believe. Because going in, as I said before, going into that game, we didn't think we were going to win. But now that we've got that confidence from that game, thinking, yeah, we can beat anyone. We can go to any of the bigger teams, whether that be home, away, or we can have anyone and we can go and beat them. Yes, the Watford result was a blip, but it was a tiny blip, because you look at the form before that and then you look at the Chelsea result, both brilliant. So we can't really look too much into those sort of games, and I feel this game against Southampton, if we improve right on what happened against Chelsea, I think could be very good for us, or we could at least get a very decent result. Obviously, in this game, we need to keep the same high tempo that we were playing with against Chelsea, because we were attacking them. I know we were at home, but they never looked safe. I didn't think Chelsea ever looked comfortable on the ball, because we were always there. We always had someone closing them down, or just at least there to try and challenge for the ball. And I feel that if we keep that in this game, because Southampton are a very possession-oriented side, if we can keep them on the ball, but if we make them uncomfortable on the ball so that they can't do anything with it, it could be quite good for us in the game. But we need to make sure that we keep this high tempo so that we can make teams like Southampton, and as we showed against Chelsea, teams who like to keep the ball, we need to keep closing them down, make them feel uncomfortable on the ball, and they're eventually going to make more mistakes on the ball. And if we keep this high tempo, it could be brilliant for us. However, with that said, I don't think at the moment we're taking as many chances as we could. You're going to see, well, from the fixtures we've played so far, you obviously know that we're not scoring enough goals, and that's down to us not taking the chances when they're placed in front of us. You see countless times players like Juve, I know he's scored quite a lot this season. Well, I say quite a lot, but he needs to be taking more chances. Arnautovic, I know he scored against Chelsea, but he needs to take more of his chances. Shaqiri needs to finally get off the mark. I know he was brilliant in the last game. I'll get onto that later, but he needs to be taking more of his chances. Players like Bojan as well, they're in the game. I know he was very influential against Chelsea, but he sort of played that role last game where you don't really notice him. And with Bojan, I kind of want something different from him. I kind of want him to be showing what he can do all game, bringing that flair factor that we really need. But in the last game, although he was brilliant, he did go under the radar, and he wasn't really taking the chances he would normally do in the game. He played a bit safe, I feel. And in this game against Southampton, if we're going to try and get all 3 points, we need to go and take more of our chances. And I feel, as I said before, if we keep this high tempo and we make them make mistakes and get them uncomfortable on the ball, we can take more of these chances, and more chances will be placed in front of us. We just have to take them, but hopefully we will in the game. Moving on to Southampton, obviously they won at the weekend, so they're going to have a sense of, yeah, we can easily go and beat Stoke at home, because they normally do. And with a nice away win, they kept a clean sheet as well, which they haven't been doing that much this season. Their defence hasn't been as solid as it was last season under Koeman, but they are scoring the goals. They've got a player like Crowther-Green who is scoring the goals. Again, I'll get onto him later, but I feel that he's going to be the main threat for them in this game. They're very aerial. Their aerial threat is very high, I feel, and that's where they get a lot of their goals, because they've got players like Pella, Wanyama, Fonte. They can just get in on set pieces and get easy headers. but they also have players like Mane and Tadic on the wings who provide lots and lots of pace. Now that will counter because that's basically how we play as well. We like to have a lot of possession in the game and we use pacey wingers. Now, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to go and counter, which is what we do normally when we go away, and it has been working very, very well this season. If we can manage to play the same way we've been playing away this season, I feel that the game could go very, very well for us. But with them having a lot of possession, we just need to try and break them down, as I've said before. If we can break them down and get right into the heart of that defence, with players like Walters and Juve, if we can get them in behind the defenders, causing trouble and making problems for them on the ball, I feel that we can get a lot of chances and we can try and win the game. But that's just what we're going to have to do, because obviously the possession stats for Southampton in this game are going to be so much higher than us, because they're just very good at keeping the ball. They've got a very good midfield line, Tadic, Mane, Wanyama. They just keep the ball very, very well, and I feel that they could slowly break us down because they don't play with a really high tempo. Yes, they have pacey wingers, but they're not similar to us. They don't play with a really high tempo. They like to keep the ball and slowly work the ball into the box. Now, that works very, very well, and with our defence this season, yes, we've got Ryan Shawcross back, so that will help a lot. But if we were playing with Cameron or Muniesa, I know Muniesa is out injured, but now that we've got Shawcross back, I feel that our defence is a lot stronger, and I reckon we'll be able to deal with work the ball into the box, that sort of move very, very easily, easier than we would have with players like Mark Muniesa and Jeff Cameron in the centre of defence. But I feel it's going to be quite a lot of possession for Southampton. We just need to try and break them down. So now it's time for me to bring you my players to watch in this game. For Stoke City, I feel that my player to watch will be Xherdan Shaqiri, just because you looked at him against Chelsea and there was something about him in the last couple of games that he played before this. You looked at him and thought, £12 million, is he really worth that? But then you looked at him in the Chelsea game and you're like, this guy is the real deal. I feel that now he's really going to hit the ground running, similar to how Bojan did last season. It took him to about November, around the Arsenal game last season at home. He really kicked in and really started to show what he could do, and I feel now this is what Shaqiri's going to do. He had a fantastic game against Chelsea, played that brilliant through ball through to Glenn Johnson, who eventually put the cross in and Arnautovic finished it, and it was all down to Shaqiri. He absolutely terrorised down the right hand side. I think it was Baba Rahman that played on the left back, and he couldn't get anything. Shaqiri had him easy all game, beat him every single time, and I feel now he's really getting into his stride in the Premier League, and I think he can be a really great asset for us in the next couple of games and the rest of the season. Now, that being said though, he does need to score a couple of goals if he's going to be the player that we really want him to be, but I feel that will come in the next couple of games. Maybe he'll get one here away at Southampton, who knows, but Xherdan Shaqiri is my player to watch. For Southampton, we're going to do a quick player to watch for Southampton. I don't know much about them. I researched them quickly. I don't normally watch Southampton, but I feel that their player to watch mainly is going to be Graziano Pella, because you look at him, he's got 6 goals this season, and he is their main aerial threat. He's their main goal threat easily. I don't think they've really got any other strikers that can really compare to Pella. So he's easily their main threat when it comes to scoring goals. And he does that very, very well. Yes, he's a tall player. He's similar to Peter Crouch, I feel. He's good in the air, but he's very good at his feet as well. He can do as much as he can in the air as he can with his feet. So I feel that he could be a real danger threat for Southampton, for us, but we just need to try and keep him quiet. I will put Ryan Shawcross on him throughout the game, similar to how we put Shawcross on Costa, and then we can keep Shawcross terrorising Pella as well, similar to how we did with Costa in the Chelsea game, because Costa wasn't in it at all with Shawcross marking him all game. So if we do that, I feel that Shawcross will have Pella in his back pocket all game, and we should be fine. But if he doesn't, Pella obviously will be their main goal threat, and it could be a problem for us. So now it's time for me to give my score prediction for the game. Now, overall, as I've said before, it's going to be a very possession-orientated game for Southampton, and we need to try and counter that throughout the game, using our pace on the wings and throughout the middle with Juve or Bojan. we need to try and use it and keep that high tempo as we did against Chelsea. But I feel that Southampton are easily going to combat that, and they can bring their style of play easily into the game, especially at home. They're very good at keeping the ball at home, and I don't think, if we can't make them make any mistakes in the game, I don't see us scoring many goals in this game, to be honest. It's going to be a very tight game, especially if both teams try and keep possession of it, as I've said before. So I think in the game I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, because I feel that will represent how the game will go as a whole, and I don't think we're going to get the 3 points this week, but we can hope for 3 points, but I honestly don't see it coming. But I think a 1-1 draw would be a good point away at a good team like Southampton. We wouldn't normally expect to get much at Southampton, so to get a 1-1 draw would be the perfect result for us, I feel, and then we can go into Sunderland away and Man City at home looking for 6 points. Probably not at Man City at home, but I'll get into that when I preview that game in the future. But if we get a point here, it can really roll us on to get more points throughout December, and I feel it could be a turning point for our season. So I'm going to go with a 1-1. That was my preview for the Southampton away game, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like down below. Leave a comment with your points about this game. What do you think is going to happen? Leave me your score predictions as well. Obviously, this is my first preview video on this channel, so I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments as well if you enjoyed the video, or if you've got any improvements for me, let me know, and I'll try and improve anything in this video, because obviously it's the first one, so I can't really try and improve anything. I've just got to ask what people think, so let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you are new and you do enjoy the content, be sure to hit the big subscribe button down below, because that will help me out a lot and show me that you want to stick around and see more content. So, until next time, guys, see you then.